I booked my first paid trip with MEI today.
Oh, cool.
I just joined MEI, Mouse Fan Travel.
So if I remember correctly, because I remember my wife was going through that, you don't get paid until they show up, right?
Yeah, when they travel, is how it works.
Yeah. Well,
it's tough. I mean, Becky she's a serious person. Like, as fun as she is, I'm really afraid of her in a really loving way. But I will tell you right now that training to join MEI was more difficult than getting my my real estate license. It was harder, which maybe should tell you something about real estate agents. What's up, guys? Caleb did not have time to make you a moderator, but I will do it this week. Does that sound better? Can you tell? Did that change my audio at all for you guys? I can't tell.
It sounds good.
Okay. I've gotten really, that's the other thing about doing this, is I am really laid back about so many things. And then now I've gotten really like crazy about the audio quality to the point that I have to get my wife to stop me from buying new microphones and lighting and stuff. At Momentum, there was a girl named Katie Fox, I think is her last name, and she works for Ecamm, which is going soon. Karen, I'm going to have you on very, very soon. Maybe next week if you want. But I'll reach out later and we'll figure it out. But she called it gas gear acquisition syndrome. So I'm trying not to have that. But now I bought a new computer, microphone, light. So it all just adds up.
Yeah, it's a tough sickness to get over.
It really is. And I already kind of had it before. And so now it's just getting worse. So I'm really trying to do this on a budget.
And a tech sickness, and it's all together.
And does it matter? No one cares. It's, I do. I watch it. Like, I just posted a video from New York, our New York City trip, and the audio got bad, and I'm ready to take it down. My wife's like, dude, just leave it up. No one, let them comment. Maybe it'll get them engaged.
At least you put yours in the right format. Mine was. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
I know it's so difficult. I have a bunch that didn't do that either. So, but call me this week if you want. And we can figure it out. All right. Well, here we go. Hey, guys, and welcome to the Mostly Disney podcast. Andrew and I are here, and I'm really, really excited to have Stephen, my new best friend from Corner of Maine Apparel.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on.
So, man, thank you so much for coming. If you don't know Corner of Maine, then you are really missing out. He is making some of my favorite Disney shirts I've ever had. Before I even thought about even having him on the podcast, I already own 3. Andrew already owns 3. I'm wearing one right now. If you're joining us live, it says Made in America below that. I'll even stand up. But that's solid right there, right? And so we're going to talk to him about his love for Disney and how he started his adventure. So introduce yourself, man. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Steven. I'm over here in the blistering Phoenix heat. Actually, it's not too bad right now, but yeah. So I've grew up, going to the parks, every now and then. It was never really, it was really a special treat growing up whenever we'd go. Probably went maybe 3 times growing up, and so just always loved it. Always been a huge theme park fan, anytime we could go. And but things really changed for me when I had kids. And somebody once told me, actually, you need to do Disney with just your spouse. You need to do Disney with your kids, and then you need to do a solo trip, because they're all 3 different experiences, which I completely agree. So obviously before you had kids, I've done a solo trip, with my spouse, but with kids, it's a completely different experience. And there's a lot of challenging moments, but there's a lot of really, really great moments. Oh, yeah. And so I'll never forget, the moment that we were watching the Festival Fantasy Parade, and Alice looked over to my daughter and called her by name. And like that moment, I was like, okay, like, take my money. I'm in. and again, I'd always been a fan, but that moment uh really was a core memory moment for me. um and just the look on her face, the moment with my daughter there, holding her hand, watching this parade, and having her called out by name was just such an incredible moment. And so we've been fans, really, really ever since. And with us being in Phoenix, we go to Disneyland quite often.
And
Um,
how old's your daughter?
so I actually have two daughters now. I
Okay.
have a 15-year-old and I have a 6-year-old. So a
Ah,
little bit of a gap there. And but it's really fun because at one point I had a teenager and a toddler, and like it was really great experiences. And so now that the teenager is getting older, I'm actually going to next month we're going to go and do the whole lightsaber thing over.
Nice.
And so she's really started getting into Star Wars now, and so it's actually been kind of cool.
you're a good dad.
you know
You're doing a very good job if you can get your daughters into Star Wars.
Oh man, she knows more than I do now. I mean,
I love it.
she's into all the series, and she's like, "Dad, you know this, and this." I'm like, "Actually, I don't." And and so it's been really cool just to see just the girls get involved with it, and then it's just really special too for my wife and I just to go there with them. And every now and then we'll have a date night over there. We have some friends that live out there that will watch the kids, and my wife and I will just go sometimes, and just in the evenings, and just go hang out in the parks, with each other, which
Well,
is
and I
awesome.
think,
So
look, and it's these little magical moments, right, that keep us coming back. Like Karen says, that Spidey asked if I was okay. Just those little interactions that, look, it makes it real, right? It
yeah,
makes it, absolutely what's going on. Date night is nice. It's
it is.
fun because I think I know people make fun of Disney adults, and I don't really consider myself an adult, so I don't think I fit into that category at all. But I mean, the kind of, it's something my wife and I enjoy doing now, and it's not,
Mhm.
and that kind of leads into why I love your shirts so much, because I think they are nice adult shirts, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah.
How long ago did you start Corner of Maine?
Really about a year ago. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 months, I guess now. But really didn't even launch the Shopify store until, or kind of our own store, until really March of last year. And so we had some stuff on Etsy, and then we kind of launched our own store, because really we launched it as Main Street Dudes. So a lot of people ask it, like, because our Instagram account is Main Street Dudes, and we but like the site's called Corner of Maine. So because we launched it as Main Street Dudes, really gearing towards really the dad, the dad that was, you know may not want to wear just an overtly Disney shirt, or something that's, just honestly super feminine, or just, they just want to wear something that's just, they feel comfortable in and out of the parks in, and that's something that's pretty subtle. And so, I had a friend who was in the military, and I was like, uh, what would it look like for him to actually wear a shirt in the parks? Like, what could I do to actually get him to wear a shirt? And so I started designing kind of with him in mind. Um, and so I kind of launched a couple things on Etsy, and we dropped the snake in my boots, and it became, one of the top sellers there on Etsy. And then after we launched kind of our own store, we had a couple of reels that honestly just connected with people, I guess, and just kind of took off. And so we, it's been a journey since then, if I'm honest with you. And so it's been really fun, though. I mean, honestly, the the most satisfying thing is, we were actually over in Disneyland the other day. We were in Toontown, and we were coming out of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and there's a guy right in front of us that was wearing the Rebel Scum shirt.
Oh,
And
that's so cool.
and so I just stopped, and we talked to him and just thanked him. And it's really cool, whenever you see. And again, he was just a dad, and he's like, yeah, my wife, I typically don't wear these, Disney shirts, but my wife found this, and and I love it, and so, and that was really, that's really the basis for why we did what we did, is to get dads and men involved in the trip with their kids and family that they may not necessarily feel comfortable with maybe some of the other shirts, but they have no problem wearing, even wearing some of these shirts out in public. In fact, the guy that I was referring to earlier with, it's like, I wonder if he'd wear this shirt in the parks. He actually wears these shirts out in public now. So I was like, all right, mission accomplished. So,
Well, and because because no one
mhm.
except for Disney people are going to recognize what that is, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so this is the one I saw, and I remember I was coming off Big Thunder Mountain, and there was a guy wearing that. I'm like, dude, that's really cool. And so that's how I found Corner of Maine. And then when I went on the website, this is the one
that's the one I saw as well.
Yeah, that was the first thing I put in my cart. I mean, that I was wearing that shirt today. I wore it last night and then today, and then put this one on tonight. So that's my favorite. I just think that's so cool. And no one's going to know that's Disney unless you're Disney. So my non-Disney friends who like to make fun of me, did they have no idea? And I'm trolling them right in front of them.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that? I mean, that doesn't have to be a Disney shirt, right?
No. I mean, and what's great too, especially some of the Pirates ones, we've had a lot of people, wear them to the Pirates night on Disney cruises as well too, or they have pirate themed parties or whatever, and so, um, and then you'll notice we have a lot of patriotic, style, designs too,
Which is so Walt, right? I mean, Walt was all patriotic.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you go to our site, cornermain.com, you scroll down to the bottom, I actually have a quote from Walt that he says, actually, if you could see close in my eyes, the American flag is waving in both of them, and up in my spine is glowing the red, white, and blue stripe.
Yep.
And, and so, he loved our country. I love our country. I'm very thankful to for the men and women who, sacrificed so much, and so, there's a patriotic vibe to a lot of them, and that's it's intentional. And again, like the guy that I was designing for, he was ex-military, and so we do have some patriotic inspired designs. They're not all like that, but there are some. So
no, but it's great. I mean, and obviously I had to buy this one because it's basically what I name my all my social media, all the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Big Thunder. I mean, they're awesome. So Karen, above the eagle, it says a salute to all nations, but mostly America.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you should join us in the chat each week. And I think we're going to be able to do Tuesdays. You know what? I think I'll be in Disney next Tuesday, but I might be able to do it from Disney next week. We'll see. We've been trying very hard. We started with Thursdays, and now it's just a day of the week. And we're trying very hard to be consistent to find a day. But again, it's this isn't a full-time job. This is we're doing. Now this one's new, right? I think I hadn't seen this one before today.
Yeah, we launched this back in October. I just had a thought. I was like, I wonder what it would look like. What if like the Haunted Mansion were a Clue board game? And
That's
so,
pretty cool.
So it's the back is actually the Haunted Mansion, but like in a Clue style board game. And then on the front, if you go to the site, on the front, there's actually 3 cards. There is the bride, there's an axe, and there's an attic. So it's
cool.
The bride with the axe
in
the attic. And
it's a good one.
It is a very good one. That's the shirt I have right there.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
And we just released some new ones to actually yesterday. One of my favorites is we just launched one. I
think the Flow's V8.
The Flow, we launched the Flow one. The Firehouse one, though, we actually had a ton of requests from a lot of just firefighters, just asking, hey, can we have like a Disneyland Firehouse shirt? And I was like, hey, that's actually a great idea. And
Yeah.
so we actually created one, and on top of it, it says "Home to the Legend." There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just as a tribute to Walt, and if you look, it's really hard to see it on here, but if you look really closely, you can see the lamp in the window, and you can see a silhouette there in the window,
Yeah.
just kind of as a tribute. And so you know, it's that one was really fun to really work on, and we've had a lot of guys reach out. In fact, I had a guy last week. He was a firefighter, and he was asking, "Hey, are you going to release any of these shirts?" And I was like, "Actually, yeah, we're releasing next week." And I went ahead and sent him one. So, you know, a fireman up in Illinois was the first guy that got one of these shirts. And so, but that's what I love, and I'm very appreciative, to these guys. And so, especially the ones out in California right now.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I think what's great about the shirts are, they're all Disney. They're very subtle.
Mhm.
They're a dad shirt. I do a lot with racing, and
Mhm.
a lot of the shirts we have are very similar to this. They have like the car, the driver on the back, and a little logo on the front, and that's it. That's
Mhm.
perfect.
Yeah.
But like Sean said, you can wear these out, and people who have no clue what Disney is gonna think it's a cool shirt.
Well, and the thing, I mean, this could be a team shirt, right? This could be Team 6 right here, the Trident. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
the cool thing is I actually really, really like the Spirit jerseys, right? But I'm
Mhm.
never going to wear one.
No, me neither.
I don't think it's made for my body type. Maybe I just don't. It's too much for me. But I love them. I look at them every time, like, oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. And for a while, a couple of my kids were wearing them. Even they've kind of outgrown them. So this gives me a really, really good alternative. And then today, when I was stealing these off your website, I guess I saw yesterday the kind of gals collection,
Mhm.
which I
Yeah.
would actually wear this shirt. I think it's pretty good.
So so I mean, so that's where Corner of Main comes in, right? So we started Main Street Dudes, and my wife was like, "Hey, I want shirts too." So so I was like,
Cool.
"Okay." So really, like, I need an umbrella, and so that's where Corner of Main came from, um, and so now Main Street Dudes, Main Street Gals, Main Street Kids all live under the Corner of Main umbrella. And and I think that's one of the unique things that we have too, is we have a lot of the matching shirts, for the kids, in youth and toddler sizes. And like it, one of the reasons I did that is because for a lot of, especially a lot of dads that are wearing a lot of the matching shirts and stuff on Etsy, like usually it's the mom or the kids that are like figure out what shirt they want, and then they just buy something for dad. I've kind of flipped things and said, "Dad, you go pick out your shirt, and then we actually have some matching shirts for the kids to wear if they want to wear it with you."
Right, which is, and
And
my
so,
son loved doing that. Like when he was younger,
yeah,
not so much anymore. He's 19. I'm lucky if he's in the same room with me. But unless we are going to Disney, then he conveniently shows up. And yes,
yeah,
Karen, look, I have a strong feminine side. I was raised by strong women. I love women. I don't mind, but there's something about those jerseys. I just don't think they'd look good on me. Now,
yeah,
I will say that this, uh, I guess I can't wear it, but this is a pretty cool sweatshirt. Like
yeah, yeah.
this is
No,
a really unique design and color, and the slipper on the sleeve is a
mhm.
really neat detail. This is really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it was kind of a something that we were gonna, like, "Hey, let's try this," because it's very unique. And again, my wife was like, "I love, like, the cut of this sweatshirt," and so, the "Have courage and be kind" is one of her favorite sayings, from the live action, Cinderella. And so we
Yeah.
just kind of took it from there. And yeah, and the sweater's very, very soft, very, very comfortable. She loves it. And so, um, So yeah, I mean, we'll sell T-shirts, but we're also gonna probably release some unique things like this as well. With they're just kind of unique cuts and just different styles of things. Because we've got some hats that are coming as well. That will probably drop later on this month, and so we'll branch out into more than just T-shirts as well. We've got some plans for some other, even just unique items, hoodies, things like that. Especially if you're in Disneyland right now, it gets cold. So
Right. Hey, look,
'cause-
I was free. My wife had a scarf on in Disney just 2 days ago. I mean, it was
yeah,
freezing down there.
yeah,
It was when we woke up in South Carolina, it was 32, 31 degrees, and it did get
oof,
all the way to 40 by the time we got to Florida.
yeah,
So
that's cold in Florida.
Lou was telling us, we were talking, and apparently in 2010, it snowed at the castle during the marathon in Orlando.
Wow.
Because he said they were putting cardboard down, and then he said a lot of the runners were discarding clothing and they were wrapping up in it because they were freezing to death.
Oh, I bet. That's
That,
nuts.
that's really cool, by the way, too.
Yeah.
Like a little
Not that I'm
homage
just,
to-
I didn't bring you on here just to tell you how great you are, but
No,
but
I
they really are just awesome.
I
And,
appreciate it.
and I think reasonably priced, right? I mean, I think it's super fair. Like I did not bother me at all.
No, me
And
neither.
Yeah, no, I try to keep them comparable. I mean, there's a lot of other subtle Disney shirt companies out there, which are great, and
yeah,
and so we try to stay competitive with them as much as we can, and um, so I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we're very thankful, and we're just it's been a fun journey for sure. I mean, to be able to do something that you're passionate about, and I mean, the greatest thing too is um, I get to go to the parks, wearing these shirts and hang out with my daughters at the parks and my wife and have fun and do this together. And it's really fun now because now my teenage daughter is like, "Hey, Dad, you should do a shirt on this," and like even my youngest is like, "Hey, Dad, you should do a shirt on this." And so it's really kind of become a family thing now, which is just awesome. And so it's funny because there's a lot of people that think that we're big, I guess, because maybe of our social following, that we're bigger than we are, but it's just me and my wife that do
right.
this, and so it's a family affair, and we just do it together, and we have fun together, and we enjoy doing it together, and it's just it's a blast, honestly.
Well, I mean, you have, I mean, good taste. I mean, the posts you do look great, right? Um, and the website looks amazing. I mean, you're right. They are right. It looks like a much bigger company, honestly. So have you
Yeah.
gotten to, have you quit your day job yet? Are you
uh Actually, this week.
really?
Yeah. It just honestly, the customer support email, like, it kind of got to the point where like it's like I don't feel like I'm being fair to my other job, because if it takes time and energy and stuff, like I want to be able to give 100%, and so um it just now recently became kind of a full-time thing for us.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Now, does
Cool.
your
So
wife work, or is
Great.
she going to work full time on this as well?
my wife is an amazing mom,
Good for
and
her.
so we homeschool, and
Oh,
and so
okay.
we
Full-time job.
yeah, she's got a full-time job, and she's amazing at it. And so yeah, we're just honestly, we're just so honored, and just humbled, honestly, by the response, because we didn't expect that. Like, literally, it was just an idea,
Right.
and it's just been fun. And honestly, the best thing about it is just honestly being able to meet guys like you, and meet guys in the parks, and just to make new friends and meet new people, and just to share that passion for Disney, together. And it's really fun, and it's a really cool community. And if we can help some dads create memories with their families, like, that's our goal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I mean, I think that's one of the things that draws me to Disney is like you're saying, there is a community, of people who, just seem a little nicer 99% of the time. I mean, one of the things that Lou does, and we talk a lot about him on here just because he's
He's
important
great.
to all of us. Right. He's
Followed him
great.
for years. Yeah, he's awesome.
And so his choose the good mentality, we've talked a lot, and he doesn't really even have to worry about like Facebook or Instagram or anybody getting in there because the community just takes care of it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't kick them out, like they just don't fit in. And because the reason I found Lou was that as we started going every year and it became a thing, right? We became Disney people pretty quickly. I wanted to listen to podcasts in the car. I drive around a lot, and they were all so negative. And I say it almost every show. I'm not a Disney apologist, right? But I'm positive. I'm pro Disney. I love Disney, and they make a lot of changes that I sometimes wish they wouldn't, and then look back 2 years later and I'm thrilled that it happened, even if I miss the old things, except, and I'll say it every episode, except for the lobby of the Polynesian, getting rid of that waterfall was a huge mistake, Disney, and you really need to put it back. But other than that, even the things that I love are leaving, I still understand. Like, I think it's going to be great to have cars in the Magic Kingdom because I'm jealous, and it'll be different, right? So we'll still have to go back and forth, but we'll have something here that probably fits better. Or Country Bear Jamboree. I love the old one, but the new one's great, and it pays homage, but draws in new people. And that's the thing. If Disney isn't solvent, if new folks don't keep coming, then it won't be there. Right.
Yeah. And you're not going to please everybody.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what decision you make. You can decide to keep something. You can decide not to keep something. You're not going to please everybody.
Right.
So at some point you have to figure out, okay, what's our core values? What are we doing? Like what's the best, decision for our, future? And we're going to roll with that. And, and like, I've just learned that in business, you're not going to please everybody. And so, and that's okay.
When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, right? Is that
exactly? Yeah. So I think you stick to your core values, you stick to who you are, and I mean, have I loved every single decision Disney's made? No. But we still keep going back, and again, for us, it's the memories, it's the time with family, and so we just love it. We love totally.
Yeah, that's the good part. It never changes.
Right. Exactly. No matter what they put in there, it's still where our family goes. That's the weird thing I was actually kind of worried about, when I decided to try to make this into a business. And frankly, my goal was just for it to feed itself. I would consider that a win across the finish line. Thank you very much for playing, and move on. But I was worried that as I started going to the parks on my own, and then you're trying to work and trying to balance that with having your family there, but you're still working and you're trying to film, and your daughter doesn't want to be on camera, and it goes on and on, that I'd start hating it. And I don't. I'm just excited. I bought the tickets today. I'm so excited. And I just got back. So, I mean, as soon as I cross that property line, I'm still just like a little kid.
We had a work function Saturday night, and my owner was like, "Yep, they just got back from 2 weeks at Disney." And my wife Julie goes, "And we're going back in 30 days." And everybody looked at us like we had snakes coming out of our ears. Like, y'all, we're like, "Yeah, we're going back again. We're going to make more memories." We were down for New Year's Eve with 88,000 people there, and I'm just standing by a trash can waiting for the fireworks, just watching people. And I see the dads carrying the kids out, and they're tired. And I'm like, that's that I can remember that. And that was a memory I have. And just, we talk about all the time since we've been back of what we've done. And, we'll go down again, and it'll, we'll make more memories, and it'll be for a long weekend, but we'll have some more time down there. And I'm, both my girls are going to get to go this time. So I'm excited about that. And it's when one of them doesn't go, I'm like, oh man, they're gonna miss out on some family fun and some family memories. But just from the dad aspect of it, just I love planning trips. I love watching my wife and my daughters have fun, and I plan the next one and the next one and the next one.
Yeah, no, I'm a firm believer. You got to have fun on the calendar, and because at the end of the day, they may not even necessarily remember every single detail. I know that I don't, as a kid, but I remember the time that I spent with them. and that's really what's important. And knowing that we're together, we're doing this as a family, and honestly, that was Walt's vision. I mean, it wasn't just to create a place for kids; it was to create a place for families, for
Hmm.
that parents and kids can enjoy something together. And that was really the vision behind it. I mean, while he was watching his daughters around that carousel, I mean, it's like I want to build something for the families,
Yeah.
and so that's what I appreciate. And so I'm a big family guy. I love my kids. I love my wife, and we we purposely have fun on the calendar because we want to have really good memories with our kids, and we want our kids to have great memories too. And
Yeah.
and just spending the time together is super important. No
And
matter what you do, whether it's at Disney or somewhere else. I mean, it's
true.
for
Yeah.
some
I mean,
for
and
some
that's
people,
that's a great point. I mean, Disney is not for like some of my friends just do not like it, and it's okay. And frankly, I don't want them there. There's enough people there. We don't need new team
You don't
members,
need any
right?
more people.
Yeah.
But it is definitely. I mean, and I think I hope I said this before we started, but I really credit Disney, and maybe linking up with us doing Disney as a family, but it's kept my kids for longer, right? Like there's been magic in our house for a lot longer than when I looked around at their friends and what I saw, right? And I hear a lot of parents who can't wait for their kids to go, and I'm like, oh my God, I'd keep them here forever. We've got 2 out of 3 gone, and it's all I can do to fight back the tears. And it's cool, right? Because except for infant, you can have that. I have loved every stage of being a dad, right?
Yeah.
I loved it when they were little and believed that I had actually been a pirate at one point in my time and I could use the force, up until they started questioning it. And then we talk about social issues, and it moves all the way through. And, my son still calls me a couple times a week just to chat from college. And I don't know that everybody gets that, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Walt set that foundation for us, and we've kind of stood on his shoulders ever since.
Yeah. I remember when my youngest, so there's 14 years between my girls. And when we took Addison down for her birthday, I did the lightsaber build with her. She didn't know she was doing it. And I was the dad behind with tears in his eyes, watching my kid build a lightsaber going, this is awesome. I remember this. And it's actually one of the ones on the wall behind me next to mine. And she'll come in here and grab. Some days she'll come here and grab it, mess with it, or some days it just stays on the wall. But I have that memory of her and I putting that together.
Yeah,
which
totally.
is cool. I'll always have that.
You always have that. Yeah, and even when I remember, us taking, our daughters when they were very young, I mean, my wife was pregnant in the parks at one point, and so,
Wow.
and they're like, why in the world did you take your kid when they were 1? I was like, because I'll remember it. They may not, but I will, and so, there's that aspect to it too, is, it's for the kids, but it's also, for the parents too, because we'll remember those moments for a lifetime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My
And
youngest
Kayla's
was
right,
2.5,
27.
and when the Maleficent dragon came by, she kind of oohed and awed about it. And then we went back the next year. She goes, I want to see the dragon. I'm thinking, you remembered that? But
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm 53 and I still love Disney. So that'd make a good bumper sticker.
You just have to Sharpie it out every year, though.
That's right. Yeah. No, I'm sticking with 53.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll stay here forever. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
And if you have not checked out cornerofmaine.com, please go do it. They are awesome. They're amazing shirts. I didn't even think about that. You could outfit everyone for Pirate Night on a cruise right from your website.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's grown in the short time. I mean, I think I only found it this summer, maybe even like late summer. So, I mean, it's already, you've got to have double the amount of shirts that were on there from then. So it's growing.
Yeah, and we're adding more every month. Like I said, we're going to drop some hats and some other, apparel items. So just be on the lookout and follow us over at Main Street Dudes on Instagram, also at Corner of Maine. And, that way you can stay updated.
Is it Corner of Maine on Facebook? Because I see your ad. Yeah. I see your ads like every 5 minutes, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, your marketing game is just killing it. So
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Good job.
I love it.
Do we think we'll see you like at D23 or something? You think you put a booth there?
next to the
I don't know about
softball.
it. I don't know about a booth, but I do want to go. I've never been. I really want to go, and so hopefully I can make it out to the next one. It's my goal.
Yeah, and again,
I gotta go.
I
I gotta go.
cannot say enough about Lose Momentum Weekend.
Yeah.
Like, especially because it's not geared for content creators. I mean, in fact, when I got there, I felt very out of place because I felt like, oh my gosh, all these people have real things going on. I'm just a guy with a camera. But it was one of the best weekends of my life. It was like going to church camp. Honestly, it was like a retreat. It's more than a workshop. I mean, I left with 30 new friends, people that I see every day. If it's not on a phone call, it's instant messaging or something. Like, we're talking all the time. And I tell you what, I got more done from September to December than I did in the full year beforehand. So it was very, very motivating for my little journey here, my little adventure.
No, I've heard great things about it. I listened to his podcast for years, and so when I found out about it, I was like, I think that's something I'd like to do. So
it's
check it out.
pretty awesome. Andrew, first video's up. What do you think, buddy? How'd you feel about posting it?
I was nervous to putting that video up. I sat there for an hour. I think I finished up like at 12 o'clock Sunday night. I delete it, redo it, delete it, redo it. It's my first one. I already know some things I want to change. I got a Skipper Canteen review to post, so that next one will be a little different.
So interestingly, Stephen, Andrew and I have never met in real life. No. Like, we only know each other through the internet, and through WDW. And so we started. I think, did you start on episode 2?
Yeah. Episode, yeah.
So I did the first one by myself, and he mentioned the comments about a co-host, and here he is. And so now we've become friends and talk all the time. And I've never even, I've been in Charleston since I've known him. But he's got a great YouTube channel, Mouse Gears, which I'm really jealous of the name.
Awesome.
Because he does Disney and cars.
Yep.
So perfect. And then
you can old truck. I call it Big Al. So that's
awesome.
My project truck that I'm working on now.
And then I'm pretty much. I think I'm now, but mostly Disney at everything. So, well, thanks, man. Awesome. I appreciate you coming.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Please come back next week. We'll have another exciting topic that is undetermined as of now. And again, please head over to Corner of Maine. Caleb, thank you for coming. Karen, as always, a pleasure. Please feel better. Drink lots of vitamin C. So thanks, guys. See you next week.
Yeah. Bye.